Hello everyone, this is Maya Zahira with Psychic Protection Sanctuary, and this is our energy forecast for May 2019. This is actually the first time that I am doing this forecast in an online format, so this will be new for some of you. I do forecasts all the time for people, during live one-on-one and group readings, but have not done one of these online. So I've seen a lot of other people doing them online, which is what gave me the idea. So thank you, all the other colleagues, for the inspiration. I'm doing this Facebook Live in our Spiritual Empowerment Community Facebook group. In this particular group, it's all about empowering your life, learning how to manage your energy, and being your best self. And so let's see. Oh, we do have some people joining live. Let me just see here. No. Okay. So as you're joining, so since this is a Facebook Live, we will have some people joining us. And feel free to chime in. Feel free to say hello. Tell us where you're joining from. You might know that I know you, but the other people watching don't know you. So go ahead and say hello and tell us where you're joining from. So for this particular video, I am not doing personal readings. Just letting you know up front. I always reserve that for my paid program. I like to offer a lot of great stuff for free, but if I offered everything for free, then I would not be able to support the work that I'm doing. So we're doing a group forecast, and let me just explain a little bit about what exactly that is if you're new to that. And we have Tana joining us from Kansas City, Missouri, and I see there's a couple others of you as well, so hello, you silent ones. Hi. As you can see, I live out in the country. This is, and my table is wobbly because I moved it. Sorry about that, you guys. So I live out on the Kansas prairie, and there's actually a gravel road right on this over there in the front of the property. So the school buses are driving by. It's that time of day, so we might have a little bit of noise, but it's usually really quiet here and very peaceful. And I don't know about you guys, but I am able to always get a really clear intuitive download when I go outside. And by the way, before I jump into the forecast, when I can't remember who it was, but somebody in our group posted a question, and I may do a whole video just about the question, but I'm still pondering it. But her question was that she's really, really busy. She's a single mom, working. I think she's going to school too, like super busy. And she feels like she's not really connected with her intuition. And she wants to know, like, how do you do that? How do you connect with your intuition when you're so busy? Or at least that's how I read it. Because when you're really, really busy, it is harder for intuitive information to come through. So let me go ahead and address that really quick. I'll give my quick tip, and but I'll think about it. And if I have more in-depth information, I will do a separate video just on that. Branda is saying, "Good afternoon, Maya from Overland Park, Kansas." Hello. Hi, everybody. So I actually have students from all over, but right now we've got our Kansas City crew joining us online. That's awesome. So my number one quick tip for if you feel like you're really busy, you don't have time to meditate 3 hours a day and open your crown chakra and your brow chakra to make you like super psychic, like, because some of you, it's like your life is happening. You don't have a choice. You have to take care of your kids. You've got to work. You've got all this stuff going on. And honestly, this might seem overly simple, but hi, Jeannie. Good to see you. This might seem overly simple, but it is so effective. And some of the most simple techniques are the most effective. So the number one thing that I would recommend is if you're super busy, you don't have time to have the kind of stillness that I have cultivated in my own life, then get yourself out in nature and just sit. You don't have to meditate. You could be like one of those, like, I'm imagining, like, I don't know, I'm sure I've seen this in the movies where there's like couple of old people sitting on the front porch in their rocking chair, and they're just looking out into the distance, and they're not really like talking or doing anything or planning or anything. They're just like sitting there. And I know in our culture that's hard to do, but if you could just like sit yourself in a chair or on the ground or on a yoga mat and just be outside and just sit there and just look around, preferably not a busy park or anything like that, but just go and just sit there and just look at a tree and just let your mind go empty. And that's an example of kind of a meditation, but your eyes are open. You could certainly be out in nature and close your eyes and do standard meditation as well. And my cat is going to make a cameo appearance. Hello. Hi. She's like bugging me. It's okay. You don't have to be scared. Her poor little heart is just beating so fast. She was over there with her little sharp needle claws going, hey, 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 pay attention to me. So that's my big tip, is if you're super busy, like the best way that you can get the clearest download is you go sit yourself outside, under a tree or on some grass. It needs to not be on asphalt or cement. In my opinion, it needs to be like in the dirt or in the grass. Even if you just have like a tiny patch of yard, or you live in an apartment and there's like a little bit of grass like over there to the side, just go get your chair and just sit there. As being outside is going to help open your channels more and in the quickest, most effective way. So that's my little tip. Again, sorry, I can't remember who it was who asked the question, but that would be the most effective tip for the most extreme circumstances where you're working like a million hours a week and you don't get to just like sit and be. Now, those of you who have the freedom to sit and be, the more quiet you can get your life. Like, I live by myself, so I have control over whether it's quiet or not in the house. A lot of you, that's not your situation. Like, there's pros and cons, right? It would be really awesome if I had kids and stuff, but I wasn't able to have kids. So if you have the freedom to be able to have your house be quiet and no TV and no like ambient noise blasting all the time, to have things be quiet, have things be still, not so rushed. Of course, most people don't have the freedom to do that. But if you do, or if you have a week off where you can do that, then that really encourages your intuition to open. Like the more of the noise and the busy that you can release, the more space there is for quiet. And when there's more quiet and stillness, then there's more room for that intuitive information to come in and for you to notice it. But again, I know, let's be real here. That's not, living a Zen lifestyle is not realistic for everybody. I don't even know. It's taken me, like, even though I don't have kids or a partner right now, and so I have all this freedom, but even then, even with that detail, it's taken me, I'm trying to think how many years, like 10 years of actively figuring out how to do things differently in my schedule so that I could, like, move out here and do, like, it was not something that I was able to do right away either. So I totally get it. So just remember the quickie method is get yourself outside. For me, sunshine helps. Like, I really do feel like the sun, like literally the light from the sun comes into your chakras. And these upper two energy centers are the ones that are we think of them as most directly impacting your intuition. So if you like the sun, go sit in the sun and let let that open things up for you. So that's my little intuition tip and addressing that question that we had. And Jeannie says, great idea. Look at the birds. Yep, that's it. And Jeannie is saying, hi, Kitesh. Yeah, my cat's name is Kitesh, and it's spelled Q-E-T-E-S-H. And you almost got it. Most people have no idea how to spell her name. Yeah, it's this weird spelling. It's there's no U after the Q. I don't know why, but it's that's the name of an Egyptian princess. I found on a website that had a whole bunch of names on it when I first adopted her. Jeannie, sorry, wobbly table today, you guys. Jeannie says, my neighbors, I don't know what they're up to. Jeannie says, I agree. I've been sitting out for about 20 minutes early in the day. Yep. It helps a lot. Okay, so let's do our energy forecast. So, like I mentioned, this is the first time that I'm doing this online, and I'm just totally going intuitively with this. I am using a deck of cards here. We've got, this is my newest deck. And actually I bought this and another one recently in the last couple of months, even though I have like a humongous box of oracle cards already, and they are my favorites. This is the most recent one that I bought when I was at a psychic fair a couple weekends ago, and it is this one. What's it called? Angels and Ancestors oracle cards, and the artwork is beautiful, and it's by Kyle Gray. The artwork is beautiful. The messages really speak to me. I love this deck, so I decided I wanted to use it. So we're going to do 3 cards for what challenges, and it doesn't necessarily need to be challenges, but like what kind of energies are we going to be encountering in the month of May 2019. Coming up here. We're at the end of April, so May is coming up. And I'm not really tying in any astrology here. I know a lot of people do that. I'm just going straight with intuition. And this is also, we're setting the clear intention that whoever watches this video, this is for you. And energy is it's really interesting how energy works. That whoever is aligned with this message, with this forecast, will be a person who is prompted to click on this and watch it. And if it's not for you, then you won't even be here. You won't even hear me. You'll be clicking on something else that resonates with you. So this applies to every single person who watches this, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay on our Facebook group or the replay on YouTube. And even though it's for the month of May 2019, it could apply to whenever you come across this video. So, all right, so we have 3 cards that are for our challenges, or what kind of, whatever we need a heads up about for this coming month. And then we're going to have 3 cards for recommendations for how to manage the energies of this coming month. And then I also picked, after that, I picked one more card asking to be shown who the guardian is for this month. So who you can call on for assistance and protection and support and healing. And so let's start with that. So our first card, our guardian for this month, our helper for this month, is the Medicine Guardian. And when I look at this card, it makes me think of Archangel Raphael, who is the angel of healing. The message here, so the overarching message for this coming month is to be open to healing information. Not only that, but this is a month for you to focus on your health, for you to, if there are any supplements that you need to be taking, any changes in your nutrition, if it's time for you to go to the doctor and you've been avoiding that, going to the dentist, this is a month when you really need to do that. And the helper that you can call on for any of these challenges that we're going to be talking about, the helper that you can call on is Archangel Raphael. And again, that's the angel of healing. And so he can support you with this coming month. And if I think of anything else on that, I will let you know. I think that's it for our guardian. So now let's get into the energies that we're looking at for 2019 May. So our first heads up is the Stargazer. So this card is telling us that you really haven't been setting your sights high enough. You've been having some limiting beliefs. You've been experiencing some limiting beliefs, and those are really going to be hitting you in May. So they've been bubbling under the surface, and they're going to come out even more. And you're going to have to look at some of those false limiting beliefs, those things that are not really true, but you're believing them because maybe you learned it when you were a kid. You learned it from some negative experiences that you had, and also just societal belief systems of limitations. And so there's two sides to this coin. That's a limitation, that's an issue that's going to come up for you this month. But the flip side of the coin is that this coming month is your opportunity to recognize where your threshold is, where your limitations are, and consciously, knowingly move that up. So whatever your goals are, maybe you've been thinking that you can't obtain your goals. Maybe you've been keeping your goals kind of small. Maybe you've been keeping yourself kind of small. So this coming month, you'll be called to step up and expand your view of what you think is even possible for your life. And again, who are you going to call? Who are you going to call on when you need support with that? Our guardian, Archangel Raphael. Okay. Now our next card is the Knight. And the message says, be brave and honest. So this actually really ties in with our last message, and that is that there are some deep-rooted fears that have been causing some of these limitations in your life. And you are going to be asked to look at some of those fears, face your fears, and be courageous. And the other thing about honesty, this month is also an opportunity for you to look at areas where you are not being completely honest with yourself. Where are you lying to yourself a little bit? Like maybe let's say there's something that you feel like you can't achieve or obtain, and you have the story in your mind that it's someone else's fault. And in the meantime, like maybe I can't do it because of blah, blah, this person, or because of that situation, or whatever, or I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough time, or whatever. But the reality is maybe that you're kind of lazy and you don't want to put forth the work. Now, I'm not saying that you're lazy. I'm just saying that's an example of these avoidance and these lies that we tell ourselves. So that could resonate for some of you. My cat is just going crazy over here. She's rubbing her face all over the table. All right. We don't want to wobble the table. Kitesh, she says she wants to be in charge. So this coming month is all about you getting really honest with yourself, looking at where you might be holding yourself back. And I love this. I love a challenge, a personal development challenge. It brings tears to my eyes because I'm like, oh yeah, that's a juicy one. I'm definitely going to look at that. Where am I lying to myself? Where, in what ways am I holding myself back because of these little lies that I'm telling myself? And the third message, to give us a heads up about the month of May, is the Traitor. And the message that we get here is that for those of you who are experiencing any kind of financial blocks, or your finances are not what you would like for them to be, then the answer is actually to put forth energy out into the world to a certain degree, like not to the point where you're depleted, but put some energy forth into the world, share your gifts, and then after a while, then that energy is returned to you. So that can be in the form of people that are supportive. It can be in the form of money. It's not always in the form of money. So you're being invited this coming month to think beyond just money, but think about all of the other riches that you have in your life. It's very valuable to have people who are supportive in your life. So as you give out, then you receive back. And that, again, your giving won't be directly related to the receiving. You might go and do some volunteer work somewhere, but the people that you've helped through that volunteer work maybe aren't the ones that give back to you. Maybe you have a friend who offers to take you out for lunch and you choose to receive. Okay, so that's how that cycle works. So that's going to be your practice for this month, is learning how to exchange energy in a healthy way. And what I'm also seeing is there's a little bit also about looking at how you're exchanging energy with your relationships, with your friendships, and your loved ones. That for some of you watching this, you have a tendency to leak your energy, or not give enough energy, withhold energy. So this is your opportunity to observe and think about and look at ways that you might be needing to improve how you're exchanging energy with others. This is also an opportunity to look at if you have any energy vampires in your life, people who are sucking your energy, or perhaps you are the one who is unintentionally sucking people's energy. So it's not about judging yourself or judging others, but simply noticing and evaluating and cleaning that up a bit. Okay, so those are some of the things that we want to have a heads up about for this coming month. And then any times when you need support with those things, then here's our support crew right here. Okay, then I pulled another 3 cards to ask for guidance and suggestions for how to deal with these energies that are coming up this month. So we've got our first card is the White Witch. So this is the good witch. Think of like Glenda on The Wizard of Oz. And she's very connected with the earth and with wisdom. We've got all sorts of plants wrapped in her hair, you know, the connection between the sacred and the divine connection in the root, in the crown chakra, connected with earth energies here. And we've got wisdom. So be the light is her message. So as you're going through this coming month, your practice is to connect with your inner light. Maybe it's just a little spark, or maybe it's bigger, and just focus on expanding it and expanding it and making it bigger and bigger and bigger. And as you go out into the world, then you be the light, be the change that you wish to see in the world. But be the light is less about taking action and going and doing volunteer work or things like that I mentioned before. Those are important. But be the light is more about just emanating your vibration out into the world. So some of you I know deal with chronic illness, kinds of issues, and so you're perhaps not as active out in the world as you would want to be. And for some people, that that can cause some self-worth issues and feeling like you're not doing enough. But I'm here to tell you that literally just like sitting on your sofa or lying in bed and not going anywhere, not doing anything, simply existing and emanating your vibration, whether it's a vibration of peace or love or truth or whatever your vibration is about, you're emanating that out into the world. Maybe it's a vibration of healing, of hope, of understanding. You're emanating that out into the world, and that is how you, quote, be the light. Okay? And then those of you who are actively out in the world, going to work, going to wherever, then you bring that light that you're emanating out into the world with you. And it affects everybody. Literally, if let's say you go on a trip and you drive from your home to 5 states away, and you only stop for gas and to like pick up some food along the gas and bathroom and a little bit of food. Okay, so you drive like 5 states away. So let's say you don't even talk to anybody, you just drive through and you do your thing. Literally just from your being traveling through those areas, you have had an impact through your vibration. So that is how you, quote, be the light. You can do it on your sofa. You can do it as you drive through a town. Your job is to be the light. Next suggestion for this coming month is the Druid. The message is hold the space. And this message is that not only are you going to emanate your light, but the other the other suggestion for you is to practice being in in inner stillness. Just practice being more quiet. So even if you're running around, you take a breath, and as you're doing chores, you're holding space. There's this quiet, this stillness within you. So that is a big suggestion for you for how to manage these energies coming. And last but not least, we've got our last suggestion for managing these energies is the Earth Guardian. And this is all about staying rooted and grounded, which I am constantly preaching to you guys. That is the other suggestion, is to stay grounded. Get out onto the earth. That's the best way. A lot of people do all these indoor grounding meditations when they could literally walk outside their door and like be on the ground. It's so funny that people do that. There's this like disconnect. So like literally go get yourself on the ground, you guys. So a little recap of the suggestions. Be the light. Okay, and practice stillness. That's what I would say is this one. Okay. And connect with the earth. Some of you know I was a school teacher 25 years ago, so I always think about homework. This is your homework for the month. You've got plenty to work on and think about. You might even want to go back and go back to where I started talking about the messages and watch again or listen again, and then jot things down in your journal, because the truth is that when you're listening to this, you might forget 90% of it, and especially by tomorrow, you probably forget all of it. But if you jot down some notes, then you can refer back to it so that you can actually be aware of these things and work on these things in the upcoming month. All right, everybody, this has been fun. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you'd like to know more about my offerings and services, you can find me at my website, www.psychicprotectiontherapy.com. psychicsanctuary.com. And you can also find me on my YouTube channel, which is also called Psychic Protection Sanctuary. I'll see you all later. Have a blessed day. You're welcome, Jeannie. See you guys later.